In ancient times, the kingdom of Drairthir Peninsula was ruled in peace by two noble dragon houses. The regal dragons were famous for their immense wisdom, with which they ruled in wealth and justice. But it was the Var, known for their strength and valor, who defended the kingdom's borders. Centuries of endless battles, blood, and destruction scarred the Var's souls. Slowly, their humility turned to ambition, bravery to cruelty, and their brotherly love for the Regals soured into jealousy. No one knows who it was that delivered the ancient scroll imbued with a powerful dark magic. But when it was cast, the Var house was no more. A new, mightier one had arisen, Shai-Var, cruel and covetous. Amplified with dark magic, the Shai-Var started a rapid campaign of blood and fire. Soon, their army reached Vovensal, the great capital of the kingdom. The two dragon families fought for days and nights, with neither side the clear victor. Eventually, the Queen Dragoness of the Regal Dragon House managed to defeat her enemies, but Vovensal fell into ruins, and the kingdom was thrown into chaos. With every region brewing with rebellion, crazed beasts began to attack one another in the streets. Heavily injured and surrounded by new enemies, the Dragoness ordered her remaining troops to retreat. With the rising threat of the Shai-Var's return, the Queen understood that while the kingdom required a new capital, her army would need a skilled leader. And so, she sent envoys to her old allies, the Elvish Empire. Along with much-needed resources, the elves assigned one of their best officers for the task. A young, promising elf noblewoman with a number of significant victories under her belt. And so, your journey begins, Commander.
Welcome to Tran Wins, the Dragoness, Command of the Flame.
Welcome, Commander. My name is Natik Hayawan, a member of the noble house of Battle Pangolins. We're cousins of the mighty dragon race, if you hadn't already guessed from our shining scales. I was sent here by the Queen to welcome you to the peninsula and to escort you to the new capital. Thank you for arriving so promptly. I'm sure the Dragoness will be pleased. All we must do now is reach the town portal that leads to the new capital. Be vigilant. The countrysides heave with rebellion, and the roads are infested with villainous types. Oh, but I wish that was the only problem facing us.
This game says it's inspired by Heroes of Might and Magic, but I would say it's a lot closer to King's Bounty, and more in a campaign style. It also has a very strong mobile feel. We'll see as the game goes on. It isn't until about the third mission that the game really starts to pick up, I feel. Use left mouse button to walk around. Yay! The color of the path indicates whether or not you'll arrive in the current turn. When you're out of steps, proceed to the next turn by selecting one of the end of turn bonuses. Okay, so this one does have a unique spin on ending your turn. These three buttons are how you end your turn. You pick any of these three bonuses, and then you start the next turn with that bonus. So for example, maybe I want more mana. So I'll start the next turn with more mana, or the next turn with more health, or the next turn with more speed. It will change depending on your hero. Although they make this big deal about you being an elven noblewoman commander with number of victories under your belt, the practices I've done so far, she's a complete blank slate with no personality whatsoever. The battle pangolin or whatever, that's your mouthpiece for the game. I think they really lost something there by making her this blank slate when she's supposed to be this interesting backstory-esque character. She's a battle-hardened commander. I want to know about it. I have turned all the animations to fast. The game is really, really slow-paced. And while it will look a lot like Heroes of Might and Magic, you'll find yourself, I think, personally, drawing many comparisons that might be unfavorable to this game if you keep thinking Heroes of Might and Magic style game. Rather than thinking more of a strategy game, think of it more as a tactics game in the vein of things like Final Fantasy Tactics, Vandal Hearts, that kind of stuff. Really. And once I started thinking of it that way, I appreciated the game more for what it was trying to do. But when I kept comparing it to Heroes of Might and Magic, I'd be like, why do I only have one hero? Why can't I cast these spells? What's with my skills? Man, might as well just go play Heroes of Might and Magic. So that's why. This game does what it's aiming to do, which is a more of a tactics-based gameplay rather than you having a stack of Doom. And we'll talk more about the army units as we get into battle. So we can examine structures just by clicking or moving to it. Regular game stuff. So we are out of movement. We can't continue movement here, because that would just keep our last beacon and head to it. We have other options here, such as artifacts, which we have none of, and our character screen, which is not that impressive. So we'll go ahead and select get additional steps this time, so that way instead of having 8 steps, we'll have 10 steps. Alright, so it said our monsters are fully fed. This is our amount of food here. We have 188. That means we can last for 188 turns in this prologue map. It's fairly short. Again, I did say the game, I feel that the game didn't really start to pick up for me around until the 3rd map. So we'll count this as the 1st map. Alright, so if we go 1 day without food, and you automatically eat. If we go 1 day without food, these are the effects, and so forth. It's loading that dragon, apparently.
Did you see that? Flying overhead, it looked like a Shaibad dragon. But that's impossible. It's been but days since we eradicated the last of their number on the other side of the continent.
Thank you, Captain Exposition. Alright, so these things just give you experience. There are things that just seem to level you up, like this right here. So if I wanted to max out my levels, I should get in a fight before I touch that. Alright, so I get experience, I can do things that get during... That's basically all it's saying is... I don't know who the game is marketed to, because it talks about a lot of rudimentary things, but if you played Heroes of Might and Magic, you will be familiar with all of this. So we have a mine. Again, I did say it's campaign-based, so everything we collect here is gone by the next mission. Our hero stats, our army, you do get to carry your artifacts over, I guess, and some of your resources. Again, we'll discuss more of that as it becomes more pertinent to the game. It's hard to talk about it right now while still maintaining momentum. Alright, so these little campfires allow you to get a soldier. We'll go and recruit, and it gives us 2 centaurs. Now, this is a combining tutorial. This is one of the aspects that does make it feel like a mobile game. Combining monsters increases their power. Combining can be done in the army management window. So it really, really wants me to merge these two. And I don't know if I'm allowed to... Yeah, I'm not allowed to exit out. Merging creates a weaker soldier than both soldiers combined. If that doesn't make sense, let's look at this. Right now we have a 20 hit point soldier with 11 damage. And we have another 20 hit point soldier with 11 damage. So together we have roughly 40 hit points and 22 damage. When we merge him, he'll have the less than those combined stats, but he will be stronger overall. And this is the maximum size of your army, so you will have to merge in order to make a stronger army. 2 stars is the max, as far as I know. Maybe there's an unlock later on, but I did practice a little bit of the game, and I couldn't get higher than 2 stars on farming monsters. So now we have a Centaur Veteran who has 26 health and 14 damage. Actually, let's go and move this around just a little bit. There we go. Oh, and when you want to merge something, the first one you pick will be who the base stack is. So like this is the one that they will become. So if I select that and then this, he'll merge into here. Not that really big of a deal, so you may just want to merge carefully. I don't know. Alright, so this will be our first battle. If we right click on them, we can see that they are a Centaur and Oaken Elk. Sorry. As I mentioned before, every stack is just a stack of 1 unit. It's only 1 monster. So really you have a party, not an army, you have a party of, we'll say, elite warriors. Units can move depending on their statistic. To look at the enemy stats or my stats, right click. Units will move in order of this bar. I can command my units with this bar over here, but I don't know of any shortcut keys or hotkeys. I've tried smashing all the buttons on my keyboard and nothing happened. Some units cast spells. Some units just shoot. And my commander can cast magic. Or let's take a look at my magic spells. Right now is the only time you can actually see what these things do. So by the time you see this, I believe I will have uploaded a guide onto Steam that will tell you these skills. Okay, you're just like, well, why do you need to know that? Because you can just look at the skill. Well, you can only learn these spells when you're leveling up your hero. And unfortunately, at least in this version of the game I'm playing, it doesn't tell you what those spells are. It will say, would you like to level up stealth? Or would you like to level up necromancy? It's like, oh cool, necromancy, I'd like to raise some skeletons. No, If you level up Necromancy, you get Battle Sacrifice, which allows you to increase your melee attack for the price of hit points. I mean, it maybe not bad, but it's definitely not what you're thinking about, right? A stealth, like, oh man, I'll learn stealth. I'll learn how to make myself invisible. No, there are no invisibility spells. So when you're leveling up your character, it just tells you the school of magic and the name of the spell. Okay, mana infusion you might be able to figure out, but what might be the difference between mana infusion and mana pool? Mana pool regenerates your mana over a series of turns, right? What about... I'm gonna cover up this side right here. I'm going to show you some names. Again, this is just so you can see. There should be a tooltip for this. I'm gonna block this section right here, and then we're gonna show you the names of, say, Field Impact. Ready? Rain of Arrows. What do you think it does? It increases your ranged damage. You can see why it might be important for you to have a nice guide to your spells. Now, why did I move my Centaurs forward? Because they're ranged units. Well, I moved my Centaurs forward because this game, your ranged units are pretty worthless. Okay. I know if I'm gonna get like a lot of people hating me for that one. That's because at this range, there are multiple, we'll say, distances that I've calculated. So at a range above 11, basically this map is 12 by 12, by the way. So at this is maximum range, even though they're on the same row. I only do 1/4 of my damage. So this guy, he would do 18 damage. So he's going to do 4. So if by moving closer, I'll be able to do more damage. Like, well, you're a ranged unit, you should stay back. No, that's okay. This guy is super slow, and I'm just gonna have these guys collide into each other. So that's not really that big a deal. Now, if I want to do more range damage, I can just move forward by 1 square. And we'll be doing half damage at this range. He'll probably cast slow on me. So I said this game is more of a tactics game. Once you have more units, you'll probably be using these buttons more often. Right now, you can see that the arrow is kind of pointing up this time. This means that I'm doing half damage. So I would do 7. Well, if I look at him, it says ranged 14. So I would do 7 here. Remember that this guy, he was doing like 4 back here, and he's a 2-star unit. But this guy, it's full damage. I will hit him for 14 damage. If I was back here, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11. Let's see. According to my notes, yes, I did take notes already, even before the first map. According to my notes, if I'm 11 tiles away from the enemy, I will do 1/4. I'd rather do 14 than like 3 damage or something. 7 for the best range, and 10 for the next best. Don't worry, I will pick up playing the game. I'm explaining things. If you do get into the game, I want you to know how to play well. I know some people just want to see the gameplay, and yes, I mean, I'll definitely do that. Okay, so that guy's, he's pretty much toast. That's why I stepped forward. So I might step forward a little bit more, again, to kill this guy faster. Alright, so what's going on here? Why are these numbers changing? This black number here represents my shield. So we have a shield which regenerates at the end of every battle. It doesn't regenerate during battle. So don't think of it like a science fiction shield. Just think of it as armor. In many types of games, armor just sort of regenerates. Like in XCOM, I think armor regenerated every turn. So at the end of this battle, I'll get all 23 armor back. But my health regenerates slowly out of battle. Alright, that was a dodge. Centaur Veteran dodge attack. Your dodge apparently is this giant yellow shield to represent it. There we go. So my casualty is really, I got 6 wounds, and at over time my character will heal that. Don't worry, the battles going forward will be faster than this. Alright, so I can pick between basic health or advanced restoration, which will give me mana infusion. We already did kind of cover that. Mana infusion would allow me to give a guy 10 mana. And it costs him 10 mana to cast a spell. Most people have 10 mana period. So this blue circle here represents that he can cast 1 spell. These guys do not have spells. I'm actually going to go for basic health instead. That sounds like an awesome skill if it were normal Heroes of Might and Magic, because you might have a stack of 100 peasants, add 5 health on top of that. Jeez. But no, in this game, this is the most guys you're getting. Alright, treasure. We get to pick only 1. This is not how the treasure chests in the Heroes of Might and Magic work. It gave you the choice between experience and gold because it was saying like, hey, you want to donate it to the peasants or you want to keep the gold. It wasn't actually a choice of picking one resource, like, oh, I'm going to pick up this experience. Like, what does that experience point look like, right? But yeah, this is their interpretation of it. It doesn't really matter too much. We'll just pick this granite. Alright. We need to go here, but it's blocked off by this wall. We'll have to complete a side quest to get there. So yeah, it's a much more story-driven game than Heroes of Might and Magic.
I knew it. It was a Shiva, of all the rotten luck. Let us hope it was just a marauder. Regardless, we should tell the Queen at once.
Alright, one different thing about Heroes of Might and Magic is picking up stuff doesn't cost you a step. Some things can only be entered from a certain direction, so if I were here, I couldn't enter this. I would imagine not. We'll double check that. Buying units pretty much costs these resources, which will also be used to build your city. So you shouldn't spend up all your resources here, especially since you can't carry military members from map to map. We're not gonna do anything just now. We'll just leave it alone. Let's see here. Yeah, if I wanted to enter this, I'd have to go down and to the left. That's what the game would make me do. Alright, so we did get our level up. We could go touch this thing and get a second level up. Let's go ahead. It's not that big a deal. Let's go ahead and touch both. So we'll go and get dodge 5%. Unlike most games, I actually use dodge a lot for this. This is a mana pool. That'll be useful if I, for example, needed to regenerate my Ent.
I see the Queen has secured assistance from a mainlander. Well, welcome, Commander. What can I do for you and the Queen's pet?
The Queen's pet would be grateful if you learned some manners. And for the rest of the kingdom, I see some old wizard has blocked our path to the town portal by scrawling some shaky magic runes on the stone. How about taking care of that?
A clear path to the new capital? Of course it's reasonable for us to keep it protected. Don't you think, Battle Pigeon?
Battle Pangolin. And right now, it's not protecting anyone from anything. It's just preventing us from getting the commander to the capital. And as an official representative of Her Majesty the Dragoness, I am ordering you to move it.
Well, if Her Majesty wishes it so. However, it's a strong spell, and I'll need my keystone to remove it. It's stored safely in the Frost Hill.
Frost Hill? Why?
Powerful spells require powerful components, and this one, well, powerful doesn't really do this one justice.
Why do I have a feeling you're about to send us to get it for you?
What did you expect? I need time to prepare the spell, and you seem to be in a hurry to get things moving. If you want the way to be cleared as soon as possible, then it's certainly in your best interest to go and get it.
So yes, that is our introduction to our first fetch quest. And the portal is building up right here. Portal's not very scary. Let's go talk to him again. Oh, that's all that. So we need to bring that. Don't forget your active quest. Depending on your chosen path, more may appear at any time. This will give us a buff. I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. Alright, we'll go ahead and head back and touch this and get another level. So we can get speed or more health. Let's just get more health because we're not too worried about speed. We have 200 days to play with, and no, the mission is not going to take that long. Alright, so can we hire anybody? We can. We've picked up enough resources. We can actually hire a couple people. I don't see anything that I really desperately want from this place, but I mean, I guess we could. Let's go and hire another bowman, and like, that's all we can afford. If I can get another centaur, we can start merging a couple more. Alright, this is just a regular unit, an Ent and a Harpy. Harpies in this game are spellcasters. Once you start getting them, it starts to feel more like a tactics game. Or at least, it did to me. Alright, so I wish I could just hit W to make my character wait, but no such luck. That does nothing. So we're just gonna have to click this every time we want to do something. We're gonna wait. Let me fly forward just a little bit. And we'll go ahead and cast slow on him. He blocked it, I think. Yeah, he blocked it. He has a 5% chance to resist it. I don't know what's with the gong. This is not Mortal Kombat, and we're not in Asia, so I don't know. The sounds are really actually quite weird. Like, that doesn't sound like a tree, and it sounds like there's some weird filter effect on everything. Maybe it's because it's fast animation? Let's try the next battle on regular animation and see if that that filter effect disappears. During your travel, you may get artifacts and equipment inventory. Alright, we'll just get the granite again.
Commander, hurry, please. I'm gonna freeze my tail off. I hate that mage.
Alright, let's go ahead and settings. Game, and we're gonna just turn the speed to normal and see what happens. Alright, so unlike in Heroes of Might and Magic, you can pretty much just walk around these guys. They just serve to exist as roadblocks. They don't actually guard anything they're touching. So she swings her little chakras like Xena, I guess, but even though she's not going to take any action in battle. I don't know why you bother doing that. Maybe just point to them? I don't know. We can cast Restoration if we wanted to heal anybody, but we don't, so we won't. These guys are ranged units that can also freeze my guys, so there's really not much point to waiting. We might as well take shots. But remember, I'm not going to actually kill anybody by taking these shots. We're going to go ahead and, let's see here. We're going to actually, yeah, we will go ahead and wait for a second. He froze me, so I guess I'm not gonna go very far. I was gonna have these Ents go forward and take, and hopefully they would take the bait and shoot at him. Yeah, I'm not getting very far. Alright, so yes, the fast animation is the cause of the weird sound for the game. But this, I mean, look at how slow that ice bolt is. So he's choosing to regenerate his 10 mana points. Which doesn't concern us. He can freeze, he can cast it if he wants. It doesn't matter. Now, this is just a tutorial, but I am playing on hard difficulty. That was a dodge. I would like to see if they actually dodged, or just say if they blocked. I don't know. So his shield is broken, so now we're actually doing health damage. Try as he might, he did not stop the Ent from going up to him and clubbing him in the face. And that is why I have fast animation speed. In Symphony of War, it was maybe too fast to see what was going on when teams of 9 against 9 were swinging at each other at the same time. But in this game, everything's just one at a time and slow animation at that, so... Alright, why don't we get the blue stone now? That's the thing we're looking for. Berserker's Rage. Okay, so let me see what my note says for Berserker's Rage. Next ranged attack will deal double damage. Since I don't have an ultra powerful centaur, we're just gonna go for more health. Now hire an Ent. So I might be able to combine that with the other one if I have enough resources. We have the Sprig of Arrows or something. Let's get another Sprig of Arrows and be doubly spriggy. Oh, Spring of Max Mana. Spring of Max Mana. Did it say Spring the first time or Sprig? I don't know. Whatever.
Aha! Welcome back. I see you have my keystone with you. I do hope the temperature wasn't an issue.
Nothing we couldn't handle, mage. Now remove that stone.
Straight to the point. As you wish. Please, stand back. We wouldn't want to damage that lengthy tongue of yours. I've also managed to gather some resources to aid in the construction of the new capital. The Queen named it Níwenborh. Is that right? Do send her my regards. And Commander, good luck.
Oh, that was some powerful spell. Let's see if I have even enough resources to hire another guy. Again, it doesn't actually matter. Just trying to show that if we can merge, but no. I don't have enough to hire another ent. What am I missing? I need more bluestone. Yeah, okay, let's do that. We'll just wait for a few turns and get... There we go. Hire the ent. I did say that this was meant for our city, but you'll see why it doesn't matter in a minute. This is just a tutorial after all. Alright, so this is the portal. So this is the portal. Let's go to the capital. Oh, look at that. Who would have thought? Fighting a war against dragons using a stone to block a dragon that you've seen fly over your head 3 times. Sure. Good call. We can't win, and realistically, if you're a speedrunner the game, you would just click surrender, and yes, but just for the sake of things, I'll let you watch me get my teeth kicked in. We're gonna do the best we can. So that was a resist. He has a 90% resistance. But if we can get him, it will help out immensely. Chances are we are not. That was a dodge. He has a 10% chance to dodge, apparently. I'm just winning all sorts of lotteries today, aren't I? I want to block him. You know, I really don't like that gong. Oh, he blocked it. No, I can actually heal him. I'm gonna put up the best fight I can. Get out of my face. He does 21 melee damage, so he will kill me on that retaliation. If I just had a little bit more time, I'm sure I could have handled him. By which I meant, like, if this was a real game map, I'm sure I could have handled him, but whatever. Alright, see you later, losers. Every man for himself. Man, I feel like I came pretty close for that tiny little army I had. Your army is defeated and your hero gravely wounded. As your vision fades into darkness, your ears fill with desperate cries for help. Oh man, that took such a long time to load. I was worried my computer had frozen again, which has been doing a lot lately.
Commander, can you hear us? You are...
dead. At least your body is. Your soul lingers behind, awake, present, but no longer in its corporeal shell. All we know is that the Shavar with whom you faced off recently don't use magic of this kind. So we don't yet know why this has happened to you.
Her Majesty knows a spell that may return you to your physical form for a short time, but...
I can't do it without the support of a magic amplifier. Go into town and order one to be constructed. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to get used to your new state. My subjects will be expecting you.
My queen? The army?
Ah, yes. After you build the amplifier, please tend to the army quarters as well. You'll need the support of our troops if the spell works.
Your Majesty, perhaps this would be the perfect time to mention the supply shortage?
One problem at a time, Natik. Return to us when you are finished, Commander.
Alright, let me restart the recording real quick. Okay, we'll go and just make a save while we're at it. Alright, so this is also very mobile feeling. Instead of being able to manage my city, I get to explore my city. And we have big flashing things I have to click on because I'm not allowed to do anything else. Even though I am a disembodied voice, both in the game and in real life, I guess. So we have to go to this magic amplifier, and we will allow ourselves to be resurrected. Regardless of whether you win or lose, when you return to this town, you have to be resurrected. Remember, they said you can be a physical form for only a short time. That wasn't like your in-game reward where she will return you to a physical form. That is the crux of the game, is you don't get to build up your stats. You basically play a fresh game every map. So that's going to cost us one of these. I have no idea how many of these we are supposed to have because it doesn't tell you. So yes, it's going to use that stone. And we have gotten an achievement, Emerging Constructor. Never cared much for achievements that you pretty much have to get at the very beginning of the game, but whatever. So I guess we have one of these right now. So we built the magic amplifier. This is kind of like our tech tree, except we start at the top and work our way down. So maybe like a tech mine, tech shaft, I don't know. So if we had 3, we could, for example, increase my maximum mana. Not really that worried about it. We'll talk more about resources in a second. So we have these resources from our previous map. I mean, not really. You start the game with this, but the storyline says like this is what you have. So it's going to cost us 1 granite, 1 iron, and 3 red crystal. That's literally what it's called, red crystal. So we'll build a forest camp as a result. And then wants us to build these 2 things. Now the game doesn't hold your hand this hard after this map, but still, it definitely leaves that mobile feeling, especially since all these buttons are humongous. Look at my mouse cursor. I mean, jeez. Alright, anyways. For whatever reason, once you build this, you can't see their stats anymore. I don't know why, that's ludicrous. Once you have them is when you really want to see their stats. Okay. It wants me to build those rather than, say, anything else, but I guess I don't have the red crystal for it. So we will go and get both of these. Centaur Archers. And the Tree Ents. Oh, sure, just pull me out. I was going to show you about the army thing.
The amplifier seems to be working well. When you are ready, come to me and I will cast the spell. Then you will need to gather your army. As to your mysterious condition, after our battle with the Shavar, our previous capital of Vovensal had to be abandoned in haste.
If you ever have the misfortune to visit, you'll see why. Lava flows through the cobbled streets, and the buildings are ever aflame.
It is also the site of the Great Library. If there are answers to the questions you have anywhere, you will find them there. But To reach Voven's we must first reclaim my kingdom. It seems that from now on, your fate is tied to that of the kingdom. As Natik mentioned, we are facing a supply shortage. Something or someone is preventing our food from being transported from the granaries in Tran to the new capital. This will be your first mission, Commander. You will need help from somebody who knows the land well.
Your Grace, I probably shouldn't.
Excellent. It's settled. Natik will lend you his expertise. Return to Níwenborh when you are done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Natik. It's just, again, I don't know who this game is being marketed to. I don't know if little kids would want to... It's like having Elmo be your sidekick in this game. Alright, so we go to Forest Camp, we click on it, we don't see stats. We saw it only when we bought it, yes, and then we hadn't been able to click anything else. We can no longer see, like, I wonder if I want this upgrade of ranged attack by 1. I wonder if I want that. It's like, I have no idea. Now, we can see that their stats later elsewhere, but yeah, there are quite a few things that we want to work on. If I click on Hero, we go right back to the dragon. For whatever reason, she makes us do this, but okay. So now we revive. That's what she wants us to do. So we get to pick either one of these, and this is only limited to the next map. Both of these choices disappear and are regenerated as new choices next time. So maybe you say like, oh, I want to save my stealth character for the next mission because maybe it's a sneaky mission. You know, you're just going to get 2 new roles. And if you don't like it, you can always enter map and come back and pick a new body, I guess. The most important thing is this resources tab. Unless you glitch the game, and I'll show you how to do that too. Though we won't be playing it that way, but I will show you how. I'm always curious to see if the developers watch my videos. Sometimes they do. And I always like showing off bugs when I do that, because that's how I know. That's how I know if they've actually seen anything. Anyways, so with resource being the most important thing and movement being the second most important, I guess we're going to pick this. I do like this skill tree though, the basic strength spell tree, Berserker's Rage. Berserker's Rage gives me double range damage. Not that big a deal, but then the next few spells are pretty good as well. So we'll just get this, because for the extra movement speed. So again, it's not a long-term choice, you don't have to worry about it. In fact, if we want to, we could just go and pick another one. So it doesn't matter. So that's what the resources tab meant in the earlier artifact thing, which is just over here. If I get this, I get to carry 4 resources instead of 3. And the hero does change what kind of resources they get on each new body. What artifacts are we going to bring? Well, I wonder about that. As for army, now you may say like, oh, well, I don't have a choice. No, actually, I do actually have a better choice for army. I could go, for example, double ends, which I will do. And we'll see why in a second. First off, I can merge them if I wanted. But most importantly, we see a quest here that says emerge victorious without deploying centaurs in your army. And I get all this stuff here. This is for hiring mercenaries. This is for doing your hero summoning. This is for random artifacts or equipment you can carry. Now, and that's another mobile thing. It's just giving you all these random gems and stuff, so you can't tell what currency you're using. This is easy to fail. Just when you see this, when you see a running man icon as your level up option, don't pick it. Speed is always a good thing to pick in games. So you probably will, like me, pick it without thinking about it because that's what you want. You want more movement speed in a turn-based game. Yeah, you're going to fail this quest if you do that, but you can always do the map multiple times, and that will be important to getting resources to build your capital.